y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the City Watch series. We're doing a series review today because I finished the City Watch last month and y'all, I need some more Terry Pratchett in my life. So in the City Watch series, this is part of the Discworld universe, of course. We've got 8 books in the main series. I think there's a couple shoot-offs, but 8 books in the main series. Starting with Guards and ending with Snuff, and this series follows the Ink-Morpork, I can never say that correctly, so forgive me, City Watch, led by, of course, Commander Sam Vines, for the most part. These books were written between 1989 and 2011. If you've read Discworld, you know anything about Terry Pratchett, you know that these books weren't all written in one go. Our Discworld books are intermingled among all of the series. So this is, we've got the City Watch series, book 1 through 8, but then we've also got the Discworld universe, and these are dispersed throughout the Discworld universe. Overall, I gave this series a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I'll talk about why in just a minute. But if you're wondering, should I give the City Watch series a try? Absolutely 100% yes. Terry Pratchett deserves all of the love and credit and attention in the Discworld universe. So no words are good enough to describe Terry Pratchett's writing. He has brilliant, amazing characters. The wit and the humor that he includes in these books are like none other. And his ability to take real world issues on gender, sexuality, class, race, economics, and put them into his fantastical fictional world of Discworld is just unbelievably incredible. Just when you think like, oh, this is one of those books that doesn't have that in it, if you peel back the first layer, you'll find it there. And this is among a world full of fictional, fantastical creatures, which we'll get to in a minute. When I was preparing for this video, I happened to stumble upon a review from none other than Brandon Sanderson. I don't remember which book it was, but it was on one of the books in the City Watch series, and he says he wrote his YA series and sold it because he hadn't seen anyone write engaging characters in an amazing world-building world. And then he discovered Terry Pratchett. He said the characters were incredibly engaging, but Terry Pratchett's world-building skills were like none other, and that is 100% true. The way that Terry Pratchett builds his world in the City Watch series is just incredible. We start, of course, in Ink-Morpork, and then we build out throughout there. We go to Uberwald, and we go to Coon Valley, and Lady Sybil's family house. We go throughout Discworld, and we hear about all the things in Discworld just in the City Watch series. And those are some of the things that I love about Terry Pratchett's writing in the City Watch series. Of course, that does not cover everything. That only skims the top of what Terry Pratchett offers in the City Watch series. Now, why I gave it 4.5 and not 5 stars as a series is because for me personally, some of the books felt a little bit slower than the others, and they weren't quite 5 stars. Now, all of the books in this series I gave 4 stars or above, so none of them are bad at all. All of them are really, really good, but some of them are better than others, and felt like that it was just a 4.5 series, not a 5-star. If it was a 5-star series, that would mean all of the books in a series got 5 stars from me. And they didn't. So I had to be honest. I had to be fair, even though I love them all. So some of the books that didn't work as well as others for me personally. Now keep in mind, this is just my personal thoughts on the books. Everyone has different thoughts on the City Watch books and the Discworld books. So this is just my take on it. Some of the books that didn't work as well for me: Jingo, Night Watch, and Snuff. But my favorite books in this series, and this was so hard to narrow down. I've got, I think 4 books here. Yes, 4 books that I have marked as my absolute favorites in the City Watch series. These include Men at Arms, which I believe is book 2, I want to say. In Men at Arms, we get an exploration of gender issues. And we get introduced to Lance Constable Anguilla, who is a female werewolf trying to be part of the City Watch that is filled with men. And mostly men that are, at this point, human. Next up, we have Feet of Clay, which I want to say is 3 or 4. I forget which one. And in this one, we get an exploration of race, essentially. Because in this, we get the issues of werewolves and dwarves and golems. And it's a mystery of whodunit. And we've also got to figure out how and what it is that they did. And so that's a unique take on the mystery novel, because usually in mystery novels, we either know who did it, but we don't know how or why. We know who did it, but we know what it was they did. Sometimes we even know why they did it, but we don't know who it was or what it was. In this book, in Feet of Clay, we don't know anything. We just know a crime happened. A major crime happened. We don't know what it is. We don't know who did it. We don't know why they did it or how they did it. And then the next book up is The Fifth Elephant, which I absolutely loved so much. This is the first time that we truly see Lady Sybil shine on the page. We meet her back in book 1, Guards, which is a sentimental favorite to me because it was our first book in the series. But in The Fifth Elephant, Lady Sybil shines on the page. We get to see Sam Vines out of Ankh-Morpork. They're in Uberwald now on a diplomatic mission. And then the other favorite book in the City Watch series for me is Thud. This is the penultimate book in this City Watch series. And this is the first time that we really get to see Sam Vines as a dad, shine as a dad, a figure to young Sam. Get to see how far Sam Vines will go to make it home in time to read to young Sam. Every night at 6 p.m. on the dot, he reads Where's My Cow to young Sam, and if he is 1 minute late, young Sam will know. We also see essentially Sam Vines out of ideas, out of his norm, and out on his own. And so he's got to make it home in time to read to young Sam while also trying to stop a war from happening between the trolls and the dwarves. And it's just some really, really spectacular writing in Thud. My favorite characters in this series, the City Watch series, are, of course, Lady Sybil. She is just the best. Nobby Nobbs, I love how ridiculous Nobby Nobbs is. He is just, you don't know who he is, what he is. Like, he's just totally out there. Young Sam, especially in Snuff, where he's I think 4 years old and obsessed with poo. He reads a book which I forget the title, something about the world of poo or something like that. And in Snuff, they go out to Sybil's country home, and young Sam gets to learn about all different kinds of poo, and he's just the most lovable character. He just wants to love everyone. He gives everyone hugs, and he is so, so sweet. 3 more of my favorite characters include Wilkins, the butler slash gentleman's gentleman for Vimes. We see him really shine in Thud and Snuff. He is absolutely fantastic. He has that hidden dry sense of humor that is just, you can just picture a guy dressed as a butler delivering these lines, and I just laugh every time. Detritus, who I think is Thrall, and he is just so funny because he takes everything so literally and is obsessed with his homemade crossbow of death, essentially. And then, of course, we have Igor. Igor is an Igor, and he is there to literally stitch people up, whether it's stitching up a cut or stitching together parts of someone else onto another human. Which brings me to the different creatures that we have in the City Watch. The City Watch of Ankh-Morpork includes humans, dwarves, werewolves, golems, gargoyles, gnomes, Igors, undead slash zombies, vampires, and whatever Nobby Knobs is. And I just absolutely love this series. So if you're wondering, should I read the City Watch series? I say yes, because it's amazing, but also any of these books really you could read in any kind of order. I recommend reading it in the suggested order, starting with Guards, ending with Snuff. But really, you can read them in any kind of order that you want. And to see the way that Sir Terry Pratchett writes his characters in such a realistic way that I found myself sitting there relating to problems that werewolves and dwarves and trolls and golems went through is unbelievable. I just can't say enough about Terry Pratchett, Discworld, and the City Watch series. The next series I'm going to be reading is the Witches series. I'm hoping to start that this month, but we'll see, because this month is kind of slipping away from me. Equal Rights will be the first book that I read in that series, and I can't wait. I've heard great things from Derry about the Witches series. I have started reading this series because Alan at the Library of Alexandria absolutely loves it. And so I started reading it because of that, and then I just fell in love. Especially at book 2, going forward, I was hooked immediately. So if you've read the City Watch series before, let me know in the comments below. What's your favorite book in this series, and who's your favorite character? That is it for now. As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. Keep reading, and I love y'all to the moon and back. Bye.